Hey there folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. We are looking at something from New Belgium today. This is their Voodoo Ranger, part of the Voodoo Ranger lineup. Juice Force IPA. It's a hazy imperial IPA at 9.5% ABV. I'm sorry, somebody gave me this as a recommendation and I didn't write the name down, so I apologize. I lost it in the comments, but this does come as a viewer suggestion. But yeah, Juice Force IPA, Imperial IPA with natural flavors. Not a whole lot of info here. So I'm going to try to remember, after I post this one, to post a handful of other New Belgium reviews that I did, actually going back quite a ways, because I had a series of them, and I kept meaning to post them, and then at one point I got a ton of them. Wow, that smells like orange juice coming out. I got a bunch of them together, and I just never quite got around to posting them, and in the meantime, they went from being an employee-owned ESOP, employee stock ownership program company, that I played that up a lot in the videos. They went from being one of those to having sold to another larger brewing company from overseas. Now, depending on who has the most accurate information, I believe the sale went to Kirin, which is the parent company of Kirin Ichiban, that does a beer of their own under that label. But there's some really weird accounting forensics that was done, and apparently somebody traced the new parent company of New Belgium back to death squads in some country overseas. Obviously, I'm talking about another country, so probably overseas. Anyway, so yeah, not sure how accurate that information is, or even what the information is, but New Belgium is decidedly no longer employee-owned and possibly tied up with death squads. I don't know. But it's probably some very loose connection that somebody was trying to use to discredit the other company. Kind of like when somebody traced Snapple's charitable giving back to the KKK somehow. But it turned out it was like some minor, slightly affiliated organization that wasn't directly related to the KKK, but it was only given as like a fraternal organization, charitable giving, and it was done by one or two members of the corporate structure, not by the company itself. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is people will say some weird shit when they really don't like what companies do, and there may or may not be certain levels of truth to it. So I'm not going to confirm or deny any of that stuff, because I stopped paying attention about the time it got, 3 layers deep and started sounding really fucking conspiracy-like. So anyway, do your own research, check it out. Hit me up in the comments, the email link down there if you find anything concrete or any really interesting information about it. But what I can say for sure is that New Belgium is no longer an employee-owned company. So in the videos that should follow this one, discount anything I say about that. Juice Force. Smelled like orange juice when I poured it out. Decidedly orangey, citrusy smell. My rants and ramblings, I forgot to put it on the light. Pardon. It looks like a very light yet slightly pulpy OJ, almost like a lemonade, but it is extremely hazy, and I'm also seeing stuck to the glass and floating down here, I don't know if those are showing on the camera, but there are actual particulates. So, not a big fan visually of the particulates. I've talked about that. I don't like flecks and flocks in my goddamn beer. And I've gotten better about it over the years. I know that I'm not going to feel them going in. I'm not going to be chewing a chunky beer. I don't like the looks of it. Maybe it harkens all the way back to Orbits. Anybody remember Orbits? Spelled like the travel website. But it was basically like a clear, syrupy, fruit-flavored water with gelatin balls in it. Who the hell thought that was a good idea? I don't know. Some idiot who probably got fired because it only lasted a couple of months on the shelves anyway. But I know that this isn't going to have chunks. I know that I'm not even going to feel them going in. It's probably just going to go right down, smooth and easy, but I don't like them visually. I'm trying to get over it, but apparently I can't shut up about it. But yes, smells like orange juice with maybe a hint of dankness underneath. Interesting. Wow. Well, they definitely used a good deal of hops to cover up a good portion of the booziness at 9.5%, but it's still there. The hops aren't like necessarily an in-your-face hoppy bitterness. You can definitely tell that it's supposed to be a hoppy beer, but it's got a nice medium to medium heavy mouthfeel. It's like a juicy, a smooth, maybe slightly greasy juiciness to it, in terms of both the texture and the flavor. And I say slightly greasy because there's a certain oiliness to the mouthfeel, which I'm pretty sure is based on hop oils. But again, the hoppiness isn't like a big punch of hops. It's a smooth, slightly citrusy flavor that does fade to some grassy and earthy notes with a distinct bit of dankness on the back end. It's odd because it kind of lingers in the finish. The dankness lingers in the finish, and most of the hoppiness actually comes in after you've swallowed. So that overall hoppy bitterness is kind of muted a bit. It's weird, but there's also that weird kind of sour-like booziness in between. It's like everything that you would expect to be hard hitting in it. The booziness and the hoppiness is kind of muted, which makes it closer to a juice in terms of, what we think of as a fruit juice, like Sunny D or something. But it's definitely boozy and hoppy and not sweet and fruity. That orange juice aroma that came off of it isn't quite 100% translating to the taste. There is some distinct citrusy notes and a hint of orange in it, but again, those other hop notes that I mentioned are more forward. In the finish, though, it's not until after you swallow that you start to get the hoppiness. Overall, everything about this seems kind of muted and toned down, pardon, more so than I would have expected. It's smooth, easy to drink for 9.5% ABV beer. It's going to go down dangerously fast. The hiccups are trying to break through right now, and I'm only this far into it, so that's interesting. Yeah, hiccups. There we go. Awesome. All right. I'm going to try and tamp those down. Pardon. It's good. Again, everything about it is not quite as in your face as I would have expected based on what I'm reading off of the label, but it's good. It's solid. I got nothing bad to say about it. I think the fact that it is remarkably easy drinking is what's making me push it up to a 4 out of 5. Again, I can't really say anything more about the flavor than I already have without repeating myself endlessly. But it's smooth, easy drinking, and it's impressing me with that, but it's also not giving me anything that really stands out enough to push it above the 4 out of 5, and I've got nothing negative to say about it either, which is keeping it up there. But I'm just not quite ready to put it up to a 4.5 or a full-on 5. I'm just like, it's good. It's good, and it deserves a decidedly above average rating just for being so smooth and easy to drink, on top of having some decent flavor elements as well. So that's where I'm at with it. Hit me up down below in the comments or the email link. Love to hear what you have to say about the Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA. I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence this came out around the same time as the new Top Gun movie. It's been out for a little while, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Not going to speculate very much on that. I just happen to notice it. But while you're down there talking about the beer, make sure to hit me up with a like and a share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.